The way that the whole thing came together has just kind of been in my brain basically the last 10 years, whatever, and it's always been an idea to do a punk hardcore band, like a non-Insted thing, you know what I mean? And I'd always had talked to Roger over the 5 or 6 years or whatever. Like every once in a while we'd be like, yeah, we should do something together, and it's just been kind of just that, let's do something together. Well, with the Insted stuff happening a few years ago, it came to the point where I was actually starting to write stuff, and so I collected a few songs. And when I felt like I was ready, I had I'd pulled in Bear and Steve because we were getting ready for the Insted the reunion shows back east, and it was like, okay, we're here in the rehearsal studio. Let me show you these Alligator tracks, and they're like, what? And so I showed them the songs. I said, yeah, let's do this. We're gonna do this project with Roger singing, and they're like, cool. I like to have a version of that just to have it, just in case.
You want to do a quicker version with that at the end?
Yeah. Because at the time, hit the vocals, unless Paul could put some magic spell on it, and all of a sudden that's the ending of it.
I mean, I could put that ending on the other version if you want. Yeah. That'd be real easy.
But I think Larson wants to play the song one more time.
Yeah, actually, you got me.
It's just been, this is literally like, it's fun. It's just, it's old, traditional, what I grew up as a kid listening to, what my idea of hardcore was. And that's what it was. It's just like, 25 years later, 30, 26 years later, just going, okay, I want to make an old-sounding, old-fashioned punk record. 4, 2, 2. Potential.
It'd be easier if
You ready? Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, try that. It's weird because I met Roger the first Agnostic front show in California was in a town called Pomona. It was at a little tiny club, and I'd had the 7-inch was one of my favorites, and I'd heard they were coming to town, but there was a lot of rumors surrounding the Agnostic front shows. It was going to be dangerous. They were going to kill people. All this crazy stuff. They're not going to pull out guitars. They're going to pull out shotguns and blow everyone away. So anyway, I talked my dad into dropping me off, and from all the fanzines I was reading, I always saw Agnostic Front was playing these matinee shows, Sunday matinees at CBGB's. This and that starts at 4 o'clock, whatever. And so, I'm 14 years old at the time, by the way, and they're in town. They're playing on a Sunday. It's in May of 1985, and I convinced my dad to drop me off there, right? And so he drops me off at 4 o'clock because I thought it was a matinee. So he drops me off and leaves, and I'm by myself. So I walk up, and there's nobody there, and I was like, whoa, did the show get canceled? I'm looking around, there's nothing, the doors are locked, and within about 5 or 10 minutes, I see a van pull up, and these guys got out, and I was like, whoa, okay, this is Agnostic Front. These guys look kind of scary, it's crazy. And they ended up, when you're on tour, you usually get into, the town a couple hours before the show starts, whatever, you're driving from the night before. And they pulled in, they were just like, okay, we're here. And I was there, and so I introduced myself, and we started talking. They were stamping stickers, making stuff, whatever. And we met, saw the show. The next night they played this gigantic show in LA at the Olympic Auditorium, and went out to that show and just kind of stayed in touch with Roger. And a couple of years later, I joined Insted, and we jumped on the road really quick, and I got in touch with him saying, hey, we're going to be in New York, do you mind if we come out there? He's like, yeah, you guys can stay if you want, because he'd done tours and knows that, it's like, hey, open door. So we took him up on the offer. We ended up staying there like a month because a lot of our tour kind of fell apart, and so we kind of used his house as a base, and we'd go play Philly and then come back, go up to Boston, come back, play New York, play New Jersey, come back. So we ended up staying with him for like a month, and all the guys got to meet him, and we got to be close, So we do stuff like that. We kind of stayed in touch, whatever, and lost touch for probably 5 years or something like that, and then ended up getting back in touch. I was flying over to Europe a couple times and doing some family stuff, and I'd pop into New York and I'd give him a call, and he was still doing Agnostic Front, and I'd stay with him, and eventually, my wife met him, and he just we became close, you know. And then every time he's out here, now he stays with us, and his wife and my wife are friends, and stuff like that. So that's how we met in the very beginning.
Yeah, let's move on to the next one. Yeah, just cruise in for just a second.
Yeah, come in for a second and decide.
What's going on, bro? Good. This guy's crazy.
Try it a couple more times like that. You just want to do that one line?
Yeah.
Just when you thought it wouldn't happen this way, cross me again and see what happens.
Awesome.
You good with that?
Yeah, you got a couple of those.
Then you gotta get this last one. You just gotta growl it out.
Something's wrong, give me some.
3 more times.
Longer too today.
No, you could. Anyway, so that's pretty much the Alligators really in a nutshell.